Hey Gearheads, and welcome to GT Garage Talk, a discussion about all things automotive. I am your host, Corey, and on this week's episode, we have an interview over a year in the making because we get to follow up with the first owner of a Jeep Wrangler 4xe in the States, the head of Wrangler, well, now Jeep 4xe fans on Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. Yes, we are talking with the one, the only Chris Hall. He was even featured in Chrysler Stellantis, their Battery Day presentation video online. So it's really cool to see how his group is taking off, the adventures his vehicle has taken him on, which he will touch on here in this episode, and just to get to see some of the mods that he has put on his vehicle in over a year's worth of owning it. I did mention this is a follow-up interview. Our first discussion with Chris was episode 60, The Wait is Over, that aired April 9th of 2021. So just a fun time keeping up with him in between then and now getting to really talk to him about what it's like being an owner, what it's like being involved in this, the largest 4xe community online. So without further ado, I will bring on Chris Hall. All right, Chris, so great to catch back up with you after over a full year. How have you been, good sir?
Isn't it crazy? A year? It's over a year, yeah.
Yeah, you blink and
good.
It's gone.
Yes.
Well, the biggest thing I want to touch base with for today is what has your Jeep Wrangler 4xe been like in this year? What headaches, what fun, what adventures have you been on in this past year?
It's been so much. I mean, it's been so much fun that you want to have more fun. You know what I mean? Like, there's never enough time to do all the things you want to do. Let's see. I think since the last time we talked, I took a road trip from Ohio all the way out to Colorado, and then up to Cody, Wyoming, and then back through South Dakota. And I don't know how many states we touched, but my sons and I took this week-long 4,596 mile road trip. We did some trails. We did a Badge of Honor trail. We did Ophir Pass in Colorado. On the stock wheels, even. I do have a set of, I bought a set of KO2s off a guy that had a Rubicon. So they're just stock Rubicon wheels, but a little better for off-roading now. And I did Killbuck Jeep Jamboree. We had the first Jeep Jamboree in Ohio last year, and I got to go to that. I've since gone to Windrock Park, Bear Wallow. So I have 4 Jeep Badge of Honor badges now, and it has just for a stock Jeep, for a mostly stock Jeep, just with those wheels, I've gotten this thing into some places and out that I didn't think possible. Luckily, I did get stuck a couple times in one place, but had a friend there with me with another 4xe who he was able to pull me out, and he was a little better equipped for where we were. So
what are good friends for?
Yeah, they say never go alone, never go off-roading alone, and I actually did that in Bear Wallow. I took a friend of mine who has a Gladiator who's never been off-road, and he's had that thing probably 2 years and never had it in the dirt. And so he's like, we went and did a trip together, and at that point, he's counting on me to be the expert. I'm like, I don't know about all this, but so we went up a trail, and I broke the rule. I said, let me go up. He was getting a little nervous where we were. And I said, let me go up the trail a little bit and see what it looks like. And I'll we were in radio contact, and I said, I'll let you know what it looks like. And he's like, if the whole trail's like this, I don't want to do it. So I go run up the trail, I high centered the Jeep and get it stuck. And I'm still within radio contact with them. I'm like, guys, I'm going to be a minute. I'm going to have to figure this out. Jacked it up, stacked rocks, got it out of there, and managed to get back to where they were. So it's been I've had a great experience, and and it's, I waited 21 years between Jeeps, so it's just nice to have one that does the things I want it to do and
Absolutely.
go the places I want to go when I have the time. That's the downside.
Yeah. So to catch everybody else up, I mentioned this a little in the intro of this episode, but we actually caught up with you as the first civilian, quote unquote, civilian owner of a Jeep Wrangler 4xe. Last April, episode 60, The Wait Is Over, was the last time we spoke with you on record. And you had just gotten it. You had had it for a little bit. And like you said, you've got 4 badges of honor. That would probably be the more correct way to say it.
Right.
And then some awesome trips and memories, time with your kids. And that's what it's all about, is it not?
It is. That's the thing. My wife went with me to kill buck, and that was fun. I said, "Stop screaming! I'm scared too," quite a few times. And
no, you're supposed to project confidence.
Yeah,
you are the rock.
They got us into some places. I mean, at that point, I didn't even have any. I didn't have the KO2s that I have now. But I run the stock tires during the summer, during the winter, and when I go off road, I throw the KO2s on.
Right.
But I didn't have anything, and they were getting us into some spots, and I'm like, man, I don't want to be here in a stock Jeep. But we got through it. So
it truly is impressive what stock vehicles are capable of nowadays.
Yeah.
So many times people like me and definitely I call internet jockeys like to, compare spec sheets, this, that, and the other. But it really is amazing getting out there with the sheet metal and all the technology yourself and truly experiencing it. You mentioned breaking the rule. I've done so as well. A little behind the scenes on my Lexus LX 600 video. I highly promote never going out without a spotter, never going out with an extra set of eyes. Just the filming of it, I could not get anyone to go out with me the day that I had available to shoot. And I knew I was going to do like the bare minimum stuff I had done in my wife's Jeep level of off-roading. So I wasn't going to just do anything crazy in this. Also knowing it had an adjustable hydraulic suspension and all that fun. I still, to your point, didn't exactly get it high-centered, but it did have running boards that may or may not have met the ground that I may or may not have needed to have taken off before I went out there. So yes, always go out without a spotter. You never know what type of terrain, even if it's something you've done before, always take an additional set of eyes out there with you.
Yes, exactly. Yep. And you talk about the running boards, the stock Sahara 4xe has the side steps on them. Mm-hmm. They are not off-road rated. And that was the question when I got the kill buck. Here I am in my stock 4xe, and the guy's like, "You like those running boards?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, kind of." He might want to take them off tonight, So I have upgraded that. I don't know if you can call it an upgrade. I have swapped out the running boards for some sliders and because I'm 6'4", by the way, so getting into this thing, I don't need steps.
Right.
I just step into it, and so the side steps were kind of always in the way anyway. I always had a dirty spot on the back of my leg, and so
I know the struggle with it. With a 5-foot wife, I will, whatever I end up with that is off-road capable, will need to find some heavy duty, and they make them reinforced steps out there. But that's a definite need in this household. But you got to do what you got to do, and you adapt and do.
Yeah, exactly.
Make it work. So in your year of ownership, you've upgraded wheels and tires, rock rails, running boards, whatever you want to call them, in your specific application. What other? I know you've got a new grill. You've got some lights.
I've got an insert. I've got some cowl lights. I've got some lights on the front bumper. I did just last weekend. I upgraded the front bumper to the Mopar steel bumper, and I, some of these things, I've had this like agreement with my wife. It's like, I'm not going to go crazy on this thing until it's paid off, and And but I was at Chipotle last 2 weeks ago. A young woman backed into me and backed into the bumper, and she was so torn up about it. She was so upset. And I said, there's two opportunities here for me. I said, one, I got to meet somebody I never would have met otherwise, so that's a good thing. And I said, second of all, it's a Jeep. We're always looking for excuses to upgrade stuff,
Exactly.
So I upgraded to the steel bumper because someday I'd like to get a winch, and so I'll be prepared for that. And so I've also done some of my own personal modifications. And this is probably one that Jeep might not like, but I did I modified. I have a control over the pedestrian warning system that normally you would have no control over. When you go off-roading, it'd be nice just to go in silence. So I have a bypass system hooked up to mine. And so, what else have I done? I don't know if I've done anything else really.
Looks like you've got a mesh.
Alien shades in.
Yeah. So you truly have been enjoying the lifestyle and the culture, and like you said, 20 plus years between Jeeps. Great to be back.
Yeah. Well, great. It just feels like the right thing, and
So pivoting a little to talk specifically, you got the 4xe, and yes, everybody out there, I even had the conversation just this week, somebody calling it a 4xe. It's 4xe, like 4x4. What has been your life living with this new powertrain? Have you had any headaches? Have there been any issues?
I had one issue. I had one issue with what's called the electric coolant heater.
Okay.
And since we have a hybrid system that can do electric only range, you have to have a source of heat because, as we all know, the gas engine provides us with a byproduct of heat that we use for heating the vehicle. But when the gas engine is not running, we don't have that. So the 4xe has an electric coolant heater. And there seems to be, I don't think it's enough that Jeep would want to issue a recall, but there seems to be somewhat of a common thread with some of these early electric coolant heaters going bad. And when I say somewhat common, I have no idea what a percentage is, but you have to understand, being in the largest 4xe centric Facebook group and we have over 13,000 members. So we see a lot, we see a lot of what's going on. So even if it's 10 people that have a common problem, that seems like a lot to one of us. But there have been quite a few of those that have gone bad. And not to be critical of Jeep, I don't want this to sound critical, but Jeep hasn't. I don't want to say Jeep hasn't done a good job. The dealerships, service centers have not done a great job of educating. Of getting educated on the vehicles, and Jeep has not done a great job of educating them. And so there was a real high level of frustration with getting Jeep to accept that there was an issue, because when a lot of these coolant heaters go out, they aren't throwing any codes, even though they're supposed to. And so the result is the vehicle just runs in a hybrid mode all the time. You start it and it says electric mode unavailable, cabin heating and cooling, and it just goes about its merry way. Well, when you learn about the system and learn it's not supposed to do that unless it's really cold, then you go, okay, I think I have a problem here.
Interesting.
And, it's growing pains. It's just not being critical. It's growing pains. And so a lot of the dealerships haven't known what to do. And I took it to 2 during that time, because the first one I took it to, they said, we know it's not working correctly, but there's no code. We don't know what to fix. And they escalated to Jeep, and Jeep kind of said, well, it's running normally. And they were not agreeing with that. So Jeep, the Jeep customer care people wanted me to take it to another dealership. I said, okay, I'll play along with this, and took it to another dealership. Same scenario. They were trying to say it's working normally. And unfortunately, I had to become my own advocate in that scenario. And I've encouraged a lot of the owners, we have come to, in the 4xe community, we've come to understand the system sometimes better. I don't want to say better, but sometimes in a more customer-centric way better than mechanics, because they just haven't received the training. And it's just part of the growing pains. It's not like Jeep's going to fall apart because they missed a few calls here and there. It's going to happen with a new system. So I don't want my statement to come across as sounding critical or anything, because I love the vehicle, and you know, I think Jeep is a great company and has a great vision for what they want to do with these systems going down the road.
Absolutely. And I can only imagine the more Wrangler 4xe they push out. And now with the Grand Cherokee 4xe, one of the most popular vehicles that they make, in addition to the Wrangler, you're really going to be seeing more and more of these on the road. That'll help with the education aspect for consumers, for dealers, for mechanics, all the way down the line. So just having more of that system out there is only better for everyone involved. So
yeah,
very much looking forward to that. I famously am very, very interested in the Grand Cherokee Trailhawk 4xe, to the point where my wife and I were at the Chicago Auto Show together with the head of the Jeep brand, Jim Morrison, and the two of us basically behind the scenes.
How did you arrange that? How did that happen?
Right place, right time, man. That's all I can say. He was actually there. I walked by the Jeep booth. He was there by himself, sitting in the Grand Cherokee Trailhawk 4xe, and I was like, you know, that face looks very familiar, but I was like on a mission, and it just, things didn't click. And then we came back by the booth, and he was doing an interview with the guys over at TFL. So Andre and Roman were there and had fun time kind of watching their stuff from it. And he's got a PR person there with him, just making sure, you know, his time is used to the best. Yeah. I mean, he's a busy man. He's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I went over to her. I said, hey, you know, here's who I am. Here's my channel, my outlet, and all this stuff. Any chance I could get some screen time with Jim? And she said, yeah, as soon as Andre and Roman are done with them, we'll get an opportunity to make that happen. And so basically, in that short period of time, completely impromptu, I was like, okay, what am I going to talk about with the head of Jeep? Because
no prep involved.
So basically it was that. I am very interested in the 4xe system. I am very interested in the brand new Grand Cherokee 2-row. I am very interested in the Trailhawk because my wife and I have a Cherokee Trailhawk. So just all the things put together, I was like, well, this is something I would watch. These are questions I, as a consumer, have. Let's run with it. So just completely
great opportunity
beside myself to, you know, tick off another interview with somebody from Jeep, because I have driven a Tuscadero Pink Wrangler 4xe with the head of Jeep marketing, Scott Talon, riding shotgun, and at one point actually being a spotter for us in that video, because it was thanks to you and the 4xe community that we even arranged that and made that happen.
Yeah.
To have a 392 versus 4xe head-to-head comparison. And
that was an awesome video.
Huge kudos and thanks to you and the 4xe community on that one, because I have long explained that the 4xe is the one I would buy and spend my money on. The 392 is the one I would gladly accept if just written a blank check and said, here, which Wrangler do you want? That, ironically enough, they have similar torque numbers, but that's about where the similarities end.
Yeah.
And
you know, to that point, I was amazed the first time. I still remember the day, the first time in the group. I came at the 4xe as I came from an EV. I had a little short range smart EV, and so I came at it from the approach that I wanted to maximize my electric use of the vehicle, right? And then somebody came into the group and was comparing. They were debating between the 392 and the 4xe. And I sat there for a full 5 minutes going, there's no comparison between these Jeeps. What is this guy talking about? And then I'm like, oh, this is a Jeep for more than just people like me who want to take the electric route. This is a Jeep that applies to both ends of the spectrum. And So it was really eye opening. I mean, I had to kind of get over myself,
Right.
It was kind of an eye opening experience, and like, oh, well, that's pretty cool that it appeals to both.
Yeah, the instant torque of the 4xe for off-road applications is something to be envied. Like, I joke with my wife, like the quick acceleration of electric vehicles is fun, but the ultimate real world benefit is being able to avoid things in traffic, not having to wait for the vehicle to downshift or
Right.
anything like that, and just being able to go. And
Yeah.
so,
Not waiting on the turbo to wind up or
right,
anything.
right.
Yeah.
And so the way that the 4xe system is set up, just the instantaneous torque, low down where you need it, it's perfect. And it's a
Yeah.
natural fit that you would never really think hybrid and Jeep Wrangler, like, who, what, huh? How did you come up
Yeah.
with that one? But it just works in real life applications.
And you almost have to off road. You have to kind of learn. There's just a different. There's a different response out of
Mm-hmm.
that gas pedal. Or I guess we can't call it a gas pedal. The accelerator pedal. There's just a different response to it
Mm-hmm.
that you have to kind of learn when you're going off road, like how this is really going to work. And I went down to was it Bear Wallow? Where did we go? No, in Tennessee. I can't think of the name of the off road park down there. I think I just said it a little bit ago and I already forgot it. But we noticed I was with another 4xe owner, Justin, and he's got 37s and I think 2.5 inch lift. And we noticed we were on a trail that was actually, I decided to not try to take my Jeep on this trail. We took a harder trail and I rode with him. And we noticed there were spots where the other Jeeps could go through that if he didn't control the torque, he could like dig things out
Mm-hmm.
where 10 other Jeeps had just gone,
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to kind of rethink
Mm-hmm.
how you approach certain obstacles and just because of all that torque.
Yep.
So that's an interesting thing to learn.
And then another fun EV aspect is the one pedal driving, which makes off roading a little less technical. And we're starting to see applications of one pedal driving in pure gas vehicles like the Chevy Silverado ZR2, where
Yeah.
I've been taught by world renowned off road legend and Hall of Famer Sue Mead. Like, she rode with me one of my first times in a diesel powered Wrangler. And she was like, all right, you really need to get used to two pedal driving, having your
Right.
left foot on the brake and right foot on the accelerator so that you can modulate it perfectly. But adding that one pedal driving aspect of EVs, being able to modulate practically everything just by lifting
Mm-hmm.
and pressing on the accelerator, just again changes the aspect of off-roading in a positive way and made it just that much more accessible, so to speak.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then the
And
392's one pedal off-road mode is the brake.
yeah.
It's got so much power even at idle, and in that low crawl gear you just modulate everything with the
I
brake
bet.
and it can do everything else at idle.
I
So
bet. I never thought of that. Yeah. I'd like to ride in a 392 sometime. I'd like to feel that.
they are something else, and they sound like
Oh, the sound.
Chrysler, Stellantis, FCA, however you want to refer to them,
Yeah.
just has that V8 sound down.
Yeah.
And that 392 is a great engine that I've sampled in many, 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 many different things.
Yeah.
So
I chased a guy down one night. I was out. I was working at night late one night, and I'd gone to a place and plugged in, and I heard a 392. I mean, I'd only had this thing a few weeks. I heard a 392, and I looked, and I kind of ran across the parking lot where I saw he was going to be pulling up, and waved it down. I said, "Hey, man, is this a 392?" I mean, it was the first one I'd seen in a while. He goes, "Yeah, it is." Real big smile on his face. I said, "Man, it sounds amazing." I said, "I just wanted to chase you down to say that." And his wife goes, "Thanks. He really likes when people say that, And so it is a beautiful sound. And I mean, I like the electric, but it is a beautiful engine.
yeah. And what's
Yeah.
crazy around here in East Texas is they're starting to pop up everywhere. I see I think the technical actual marketing name is Snazzleberry. a dark red
Yeah.
one on the regular. I've seen a white one while we were filming on the SFA campus. And yeah, they're popping up out here in East Texas
Yeah.
pretty regularly, as are the 4xEs. And I am
Yes.
hoping to get a wife review of a black Rubicon 4xE very soon. They also have a Gecko Green Sahara. So
Nice.
at the dealership in question. So I'm very anxiously wanting to get my wife in a Wrangler again because I don't know that she's ridden in a JL. She rode in the backseat of my brother's JK to Monroe, Louisiana, and back, and she wasn't the biggest of fans. We had
Not a fan of that back seat.
yeah, we had a Ford Bronco for a week for testing, and she loved that one. And I keep telling her, I'm like, while the JLs aren't as comfortable as the Bronco, they are much more comfortable than that JK you rode in.
Yeah.
So just give them a chance.
Yeah. I do wish the back seats could. I mean, I don't ride back there, but
Right.
I do wish they could recline a little bit because it's just you feel like you're really sitting up straight and yeah.
Yeah.
They could do some. They could do some work. In fact, when my sons and I went on our trip, they're both close to my height, so it's just not very comfortable back there. And my youngest son ended up with a pillow like up against the door, laying sideways most of the trip. And so yeah.
And the fact that they do double duty of hiding the batteries in that one, so keeping the batteries in the climate control of the interior of the 4xE.
Yeah.
I'm struggling with this one because I have not gotten enough seat time in either the Wrangler or the Grand Cherokee. But while we were at the Chicago Auto Show, my wife noted how firm the backseat of the Grand Cherokee 4xE's rear seat was. I've sat in one. It was not an instantaneous standout thought that I had, but it definitely stood out to her. So again, I'm really desperately wanting a little more seat time. I do believe that will come in October, if not sooner, at some events we have on the calendar already. But something worth noting that perhaps 4xEs, being that they are covering the batteries, have perhaps a firmer that further investigation here at GT Garage Talk. We'll go into that one, but it is on our hit list.
And of course the Cherokee, the Grand Cherokee 4xE, they have changed. Anybody who's ordered them, they were supposed to get a 22, but we're hearing now that they're all getting pushed to 23. So there won't be a 22 Grand Cherokee 4xE is from what we're hearing.
Yeah, the crazy thing about it all is like the perfect storm of chip shortage and labor shortage and just all this stuff trying to launch products. I do not envy automakers at this point in time. And just the misunderstanding from the consumer side of things. You know, I hear so much. I'm the middleman. I hear stuff from OEMs. I hear stuff from consumers, and there are valid concerns on both sides. But it's just tough.
And then the downside, getting parts for the 4xE for repairs can be a little bit of an issue. Those specialty parts, like the electric coolant heater I was mentioning earlier, you know, it's a month, 2 months sometimes before, once you get the problem identified. My personal one was a month. I think I had some inside help from somebody I won't name, but I think I had a little help there. And but I'm hearing a month and 2 months is not uncommon for other people getting that part in, and so that's frustrating.
Yeah.
You know, but we are people of grace and mercy, and you know we move forward. So.
Well, I would be remiss without bringing this up with you because I know you are a fan of all different propulsion systems. I know you posted recently in the 4xE group how you're very excited about Gen 2 and what that may look like, and maybe more of a series hybrid where it's the electric system is really just supplemented by a gas-powered generator versus
Right.
a true engine in the vehicle. Some vehicles famously that have had that type of system, the Chevy Volt with a V
Yep.
as in Victor, not the Bolt,
Yep.
which is fully electric.
Yep.
That's a vehicle I think was A, ahead of its time, and B, improperly executed. In a world that is going SUV crazy, I think they would have done better not to take the Chevy Cruze platform on which it was based,
Yes.
but to take the Chevy Equinox and make something using that Equinox platform. But what do I know? I am not an engineer. I just
Yeah.
pretend to be one on TV. But
That Volt was a genius vehicle, and I mean, Volt EV people who don't even have never even had one were heartbroken when Chevy pulled the plug on that thing. I mean, not to make a pun, but
Yeah.
it was just it's just a sad day. I mean, and I've even like tried to figure out how to get one in our family. Like my son's been looking at a vehicle. I'm like, man, you could look at a Volt, Yeah.
Every once in a while, I pull up the Carvana app and I'm like, it wouldn't be the worst thing. It could be our
Yeah.
family vehicle because it's a hatchback, so there's plenty of room. The top
Yeah.
trims are quite luxurious inside, and I've been all over the board with it, but it truly was an interesting vehicle outright, and
Yeah.
a sad day when Chevy said, we're going all electric. So
Yeah. Yeah, I really hope. I mean, this is me speculating, but I really hope there is a priority shift there with the 4xe down the road, where we start to minimize that gas engine and start to maximize the battery capacity. And then, of course, battery densities are going to be changing.
Right.
I mean, there's going to be a lot of cool stuff coming in the pipeline, but I can't remember if it was Mickey Bly or Dan Fry. One of those guys said, at the end of the day, this still has to be a Jeep. And fully electric, and I'm saying this myself, fully electric would be difficult in a lot of applications, and for overlanding and all sorts of stuff. So it would be nice to have a full something close to a full electric, but at least, like those guys are saying, at the end of the day, it still has to be able to do the things that we want it to do as a Jeep. And so it'd be nice if we could do a range extender or compressed natural gas, or something in there that would just be able to get this thing down the road and fill up with jerry cans and get off the trail if that's where somebody ended up.
Yep. Jeep is getting close. So last year at Jeep Easter Safari, they showed off Magneto, which actually had a manual transmission, but was a full electric two-door Jeep. And then for this year's Easter Jeep Safari, they kind of did Magneto 2.0, where they tweaked some things. So they are showing they are close. The Ford F-150 Lightning, which I have now had a chance to drive, famously took the bones of America's best-selling vehicle and shoved a battery pack in there to make it a usable electric-only vehicle. So we're seeing it get there. We shall see.
Yeah.
And
I just it'll be interesting for Jeep.
I just sampled and had to turn in yesterday, as we sit and record this, a vehicle that if it's not on your radar, it will be after you and I discuss it. The video on our YouTube channel is forthcoming, but that is the Mazda MX-30. And when you open the hood on that thing, it is laughable. So what the MX-30 is a modified version of their CX-30 compact crossover. And it is the most appropriately called an SUV coupe in that it has two forward hinge doors and two rear hinge doors, kind of like a extended cab pickup truck. But you pop the hood, and in the US spec, which is only available in California, it is a 100-mile electric-only vehicle that used an ICE platform on which to build. But in Japan, they have exactly what you are interested in, and that is a series-style hybrid using a rotary engine or a Wankel engine if you want to.
Why wouldn't they?
And that is like the geek in me is like, yes, like, why did you not bring this to America and make it 50 state available?
Yeah.
Why did you bring this 100-mile California only EV to market when you've got the tech, you've got the know-how,
Yes.
and a very legendary rotary engine to back it up? I don't know. It's
Yeah.
sad day.
That's interesting. I hadn't heard about them putting a rotary engine in that. Gosh,
Yeah,
that's leave it
and
to Mazda.
yeah, and I dropped the Wankel name on my wife during our review, so her reaction was she had never heard that before. It was the what? So, but yeah, pretty fun. But yes, you look under the hood of a US spec version, and it's laughable how much space is underneath there, because they are leaving room for that gas powered generator
Yeah.
essentially. And
Yeah.
just kind of a miss, kind of a shortfalling, but the
Yeah.
MX-30 platform is Mazda's first toe in the water in the electrified game. So very interested to
Huh.
see where that brand goes in the future.
Yeah. Makes you wonder if that's a carb compliance vehicle kind of thing.
Oh, it absolutely is. That's why
Yeah.
that is all we got here in the States. I was so happy to see that there was one here in the Texas test fleet for me to sample. I begged and pleaded. I went and picked it up in Dallas because nobody wanted to wanted to make the 90+ mile journey over here to East Texas in a vehicle with a 100-mile range. So
Right. Right.
yeah,
Yep.
that was a fun experience, but you'll have
Yeah.
to wait
Been
for
there.
my full review to see exactly how that went down.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see that.
Well, Chris, I know you are taking a break and in between things there on your end, so I just wanted to give you one last opportunity to give a shout out to basically the 4xe group and how people can join and become a part of the largest 4xe community online.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that's been the funnest part about it is the people. We've the Wrangler, or you go to Jeep 4xe fans on Facebook. That is the group, and I do have an Instagram that I don't always do the best at, but I try, and a Twitter. Those are both Jeep 4xe fans, and boy, I can't say enough. The admin team for that group has been they're just awesome people,
Mm-hmm.
and we have tried to do something a little special in this group on top of it being kind of 4xe centric. And we did change the name of the group. It used to be Wrangler 4xe
Right.
fans, but we made it Jeep 4xe fans because we wanted to welcome the Grand Cherokee and the Gladiator that we hope we will see in the next year or two.
Yes.
There's also in Europe, of course, the Renegade and Compass 4xe.
Yes.
And we do have some European members that have those, and there's the Jeep Commander in China, but we don't have any Chinese members, and of course they don't have access to Facebook like we do. But
Right.
there is one member that I know of that is in the Wrangler 4xe fans that is from China, so that's kind of cool. Or Jeep 4xe fans, I said it wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you go and search the group, one of the things that we've tried to do uniquely there is we've tried to make it a place where the noise, negativity, and nonsense of a lot of Jeep groups is absent.
Yeah.
I'm not very tolerant of people being jerks to each other. And if somebody wants to lower their Jeep and put low profiles on it, hey, this is their Jeep, and that's awesome. And I think it's awesome when somebody does it. And so we try to keep that kind of stuff at bay. And So we're community, and I don't see the point in dividing ourselves and being
Right.
jerks to each other when kindness can reign supreme. So if you're interested in that, that's where you can come be a part of that and
for
be
those
another
of you,
awesome person in that.
yep. And for those of you in the know, I will put links down in the show notes of this podcast episode. So, swipe up, whatever you have to do to get to the show notes, and that'll take you directly there. Chris, thank you so much. It has been a blast catching up. I will stay in touch with you offline in between episodes, but definitely fun being your friend, watching your adventures,
Yes.
and everything that Wrangler 4xe has allowed you to do.
It's been fun watching the channel take off too. And
Well, thank
I mean,
you.
how long ago did you pass the 1,000 mark? It's been a while.
It was
That like,
October of 21, and now we
Yeah.
are flirting with 4,300, if not
man.
already there, because the video I posted yesterday just blew up in the Kia EV6 GT line. So
Nice.
people have responded well to electrified stuff on the channel. And, you know, I still love 392s and loud V8s and stuff like that. So
Yep.
I don't want to pigeonhole myself, but yeah, you know, what works.
You're doing it all, and that's what's awesome.
Yep. Well, Chris, thank you so much, and looking forward to seeing more adventures from you.
Yeah, that's mutual. Thank you.
Always great chatting with him, and he mentioned just the most fun thing from his perspective is and are the people of the community and the people he gets to interact with. And the same is true here at GT Garage Talk. The people we get to interview, the stories we get to share and hear and tell, and just the community we are building here at GT Garage Talk has truly made this job a blessing for me, this company a blast to run and grow. And, you know, vehicles are cool, but getting to talk to the people who engineer them, and Nicole Kratz, the chief engineer of the Silverado EV, getting to talk to Jim Morrison, the head of the Jeep brand, like all of that is possible thanks to you, the people who listen to me in and out, week in, week out. And we thank you for that. Truly, your support, listening to each and every episode, watching us on YouTube, commenting on our videos and all our social media posts is really what helps us grow, and we thank you for it. I will put in a real quick plug here. If you want to support us financially so that we could do even bigger and better things, go find us on Patreon at patreon.com/GT Garage Talk. There are several different tiers that get you some additional benefits, including discounts on our merch and some additional conversations with most of our guests online. So we really like to continue and share and give back just a little bit more, but we will always keep these episodes free to you here on the internet. And we just thank you so much for listening and supporting each and every week. You know where to find us: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. See what we're driving before it is up on our YouTube channel, and everything can be found at gtgaragetalk.com. But until next time, gearheads, bye.